Hello everybody, Eric again. Like and subscribe. Here we go. Let's read about the album Hero. Hero is an album featuring the songs from the rock opera Hero. It is based on the question, what if Jesus was born in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania? The rock opera modernizes Jesus' last 2 years on Earth and features a cast of many well-known Christian rock artists, with Michael Tait, Rebecca St. James, and Mark Stewart as the three main characters: Hero, Jesus, Maggie, Mary Magdalene, and Petrov, Peter. Track listing and performers. Disc 1. Number, title, writers, artist, length. 1. This Is How It Happened. Matt Kearney and Pete Stewart. Paul Wright. 2 minutes and 8 seconds. 2. A Few Good Men. Eddie DeGarmo. Michael Quedlin. Mark Stewart. Michael Tait. 5 minutes and 9 seconds. 3. Wedding Celebration. Eddie DeGarmo. John Cooper. John Gray. Michael Tait. Nerva Descent and Gretz. 4 minutes and 32 seconds. 4. Fire of Love. Eddie DeGarmo. John Cooper. Michael Tait. 4 minutes and 38 seconds. 5. Use My Life With You. Eddie DeGarmo. Michael Tait. And Nerva Descent. 3 minutes and 14 seconds. 6. Man on a Mission. Matt Kearney and Pete Stewart. Paul Wright. 1 minute and 14 seconds. 7. Secrets of the Heart. Eddie DeGarmo. Rebecca St. James and Michael Tait. 3 minutes and 52 seconds. 8. Stand Up and Walk. Eddie DeGarmo. John Cooper, Matt Hammett, and Michael Tait. 4 minutes and 24 seconds. 9. Do What You Got to Do. Eddie DeGarmo. John Cooper and Pete Stewart. 3 minutes and 5 seconds. 10. Take My Hand. Eddie DeGarmo. Michael Tait. 1 minute and 48 seconds. 11. Love's Decoration. Eddie DeGarmo, Rebecca St. James, Mark Stewart, and Michael Tait. 3 minutes and 17 seconds. 12. Raised in Harlem. Eddie DeGarmo and Pete Stewart. T-Bone, Michael Tait, and Donnie. 4 minutes and 21 seconds. They're Calling Him Hero. Matt Kearney and Pete Stewart. Paul Wright. 2 minutes and 42 seconds. 14. Manna from Heaven. Eddie DeGarmo. Rebecca St. James. Michael Quedlin. Mark Stewart. And Michael Tait. 4 minutes and 20 seconds. 15. Hero. Eddie DeGarmo. Rebecca St. James. Michael Quedlin. And Mark Stewart. 4 minutes and 41 seconds. Disc 2. Number, title, writers, artist, length. 1. You Just Had to Stir Things Up / Leave Here. Eddie DeGarmo, Rebecca St. James, Michael Tait, and Paul Wright. 5 minutes and 19 seconds. 2. Stand By You. Eddie DeGarmo, Rebecca St. James, and Paul Wright. 2 minutes and 47 seconds. 3. Say the Word. Eddie DeGarmo, Paul Wright. 1 minute and 36 seconds. 4. Intentions. Eddie DeGarmo, Michael Quedlin. 3 minutes and 20 seconds. 5. Finally Home. Eddie DeGarmo, Rebecca St. James, Michael Quedlin, and Mark Stewart. 3 minutes and 37 seconds. 6. Not in Our House. Eddie DeGarmo and Pete Stewart. John Cooper and Michael Tait. 2 minutes and 9 seconds. 7. Murder on Their Minds. Matt Kearney and Pete Stewart. Paul Wright. 2 minutes and 59 seconds. 8. Party in the House Today. Eddie DeGarmo, Mark Stewart. 3 minutes and 49 seconds. 9. In Remembrance of Me. Eddie DeGarmo, Michael Tait. 1 minute and 53 seconds. 10. Shadowman. Eddie DeGarmo, Michael Quedlin, and Pete Stewart. 5 minutes. 11. Hero's Agony. Eddie DeGarmo, Michael Tait. 2 minutes and 37 seconds. 12. I Am. Eddie DeGarmo, Michael Tait. 1 minute and 17 seconds. 13. Kill the Hero. Eddie DeGarmo, John Cooper, Paul Wright, and Bob Farrell. 6 minutes. 14. Execute / Intentions. Reprise/Hero. Reprise/Use My Eddie DeGarmo live with you. Rebecca St. James, Norbert Desant, and Michael Quedlin. 3 minutes and 58 seconds. 15. He's Not Here. Eddie DeGarmo, Rebecca St. James, and Nathaniel Lee. 3 minutes and 41 seconds. 16. The Truth Comes Out. Eddie DeGarmo and Matt Kearney. Paul Wright. 1 minute and 47 seconds. Reviews. Chris Well, writing for CCM Magazine, revealed it favorable and stated, Hero is inventive, with a myth, and should, no doubt, spark debate everywhere about the real Jesus. On the other hand, Andre Furias of Christian Music Today wrote, Hero's attempt to be all things to all people is well-intentioned. Its replayability value is minimal, deeming it no more than a glorified post-concert souvenir for the live stage show. Primary cast. Michael Tate as Hero. T-Bone as Juris. Mark Stewart of Audio Adrenaline as Petrov. Donnie Lewis as Juris' wife. Rebecca St. James as Maggie. Pete Stewart as Chief of Police Devlin. Paul Wright as Special Agent Hunter. Bob Farrell as Governor Paulette. Norva Desant as Mama Mary. John Gray as Preacher Rabbi at the wedding. John Cooper of Skillet as Chief Rabbi Cobb. Nathaniel Lee as Janitor Angel. Michael Krellin as Jude. Gretz as the wedding party. Mark Hammett of Sanctus Rio as Blind Cripple. Pete and Donna Stewart as the bride and groom at the wedding. Secondary cast of musicians. Todd Collins, percussion. Ann McCrary, choir. Eddie DeGarmo, piano, background vocals, executive producer. Antonio Fallon, choir, background vocals. DJ Mudge, scratching. John Ray, choir. Jason Esquidge, background vocals. Becky Robertson, children's choir. Kim Fleming, choir. Joanna Robertson, children's chorus. Brad Ford, vocals, assistant executive producer. Thomas Romans, choir. Robert Gay, children's chorus. Pete Stewart, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, bass, piano, electric piano. Rachel Goldenstein, choir. Greg Thomas, choir. Kirk Jellyroll Johnson, harmonica. Patty Thomas, choir. Tony Lissetto, bass guitar. Michelle Valentine, choir. Rick May, drums. Paul Wright III. Support staff. Eddie DeGarmo, executive producer. Carter Robinson, choir director. Brad Ford, assistant executive producer. Dan Scheich, mastering. Carl Marsh, Fairlight string arrangement. Pete Stewart, audio engineer, producer, programming. Bethany Newman, art director, design. Greg Thomas, choir director. Marcelo Peno, audio engineer. Bye for now.